The forest that moves closer. I didn't get lost right away. At first, it was just a walk, a normal pine forest outside the city, a trail, fresh air, silence. My phone had signal, the sun was out, nothing felt wrong. The problem started when I realized I had been walking too long, and the trail never ended. I stopped, looked around, just a forest, trees, bushes, pine needles under my feet. But something felt off, like there was less space. I took a photo with my phone, just to mark the place in case I had to find my way back. Then I kept walking. About 10 minutes later, I stepped into a small clearing. And that's when the first stab of unease hit me. I had already been here. The same fallen log, the same rock shaped like a dog's head. Even the broken branches on the ground were in the same places. "That's not possible," I muttered. I had been walking straight, no turns. I took another picture of the clearing, just to compare. That's when I noticed something else. The trees around the clearing were standing too evenly, almost in a circle, like someone had planted them that way, and every trunk leaned ever so slightly, inward, like they were watching. I turned around sharply. There was a tree behind me that hadn't been there a second ago. I was sure of it. There had been a gap between trunks. I remembered looking through it when I walked in. Now a thick, dark trunk blocked the way. "Relax," I whispered to myself. "You're just confused." I looked back at the other trees. Then I spun around again, and I saw movement, barely noticeable, like someone slowly dragging a heavy wardrobe across a floor. The trunk to my left was a little closer now. Branches touched where there had been open air before. I started turning in circles, looking from one tree to another. Whenever I looked at them, they were still. The moment I looked away, even for a second, the creak of bark, a low, muffled sound of roots shifting in the soil. They were moving, slowly, heavily, but deliberately. And every time, closer. I ran. Branches clawed at my clothes. Twigs snapped underfoot. I didn't choose a direction. I just ran where it seemed less dense. But the forest thickened. Trunks stood so close together I had to squeeze sideways between them. Bark scraped against my jacket. Somewhere very close, something groaned, like massive doors slowly closing. I stopped, gasping, and I understood the worst part. The forest wasn't just moving, it was closing in. I pulled out my phone and opened the photos. The first, a normal clearing. The second, the trees slightly closer. The third, taken just a minute ago. The trunks were pressed tight together, and between them, me, from above. The photo had been taken from at least 10 meters up, like something had been watching me from a tree. Slowly, I lifted my head. The canopy above was dark, too dark for daytime, branches intertwined like fingers. And then I saw it. Something moved between the leaves, long, dark. Not a branch. It slowly crawled from one tree to another, and the trunks around me made one more tiny synchronized step inward, like a cage tightening. They say that sometimes deep in the woods, people find phones with strange photos on them. Pictures of trees standing far too close together, and a blurred human shape between the trunks. With every next image, that shape is just a little higher off the ground.